Chevy has built engines that run forever, even when you skip maintenance, and others that can cost you thousands if you treat them the same way. Today, we're breaking down Chevrolet's worst and best engines. Why early Ecotecs, 3.6-liter V6s, and AFM V8s quietly destroy themselves. And why legends like the 4.3 Vortec, 5.7 small block, 6.0 iron block, and the LS family forgive abuse and just keep going. If you own a Chevy or are considering a used one, watch to the end so you don't end up with a problem engine when you could have had one that never seems to die. Worst 3. Early Ecotec 2.4-liter. When this engine launched, it looked like the perfect modern four-cylinder, which was designed to meet emissions and fuel economy targets without sacrificing everyday drivability. So why did so many owners lose trust in it early? Because once this engine left the showroom, its weak points started stacking up quietly. Oil consumption crept in early, the PCV system struggled to keep up, and that directly fed into premature timing chain wear. None of it led to instant failure, but together they shortened the engine's usable life much faster than owners expected. Miss one oil change, and the timing chain begins stretching sooner than it should. Ignore the oil loss, and lubrication thins out across bearings and cam surfaces. The engine doesn't fail all at once. It slowly goes out of spec, mile by mile, until small problems turn into big repairs. It wasn't a bad concept or a flawed idea. It just demanded perfect ownership and zero mistakes, and that's not how real people use daily drivers. And that theme shows up again when Chevy chased efficiency too hard. Worst, 2 to 3.6-liter HF V6. This V6 became a workhorse across the lineup, powering sedans, crossovers, and SUVs, often being asked to handle weight and daily use far beyond light-duty expectations. Why did timing failures follow it everywhere? That's because long oil change intervals and chain design didn't play well together. This engine relied heavily on clean, high-quality oil to keep multiple timing chains properly tensioned, and once oil quality slipped, wear accelerated fast. Tensioners lost pressure, chains stretched earlier than expected, and timing drifted just enough to create expensive problems before most owners saw any warning signs. When everything was healthy, it felt smooth, quiet, and powerful. Exactly what a modern V6 should feel like. But once timing issues started, repairs weren't minor. Accessing the chains meant deep labor, high parts costs, and downtime that caught owners off guard. Later revisions addressed many of these weaknesses with better materials and updated oiling strategies, but by then, too many early failures had already shaped its reputation, and first impressions are hard to forget. And sometimes, the problem wasn't complexity, it was execution. Worst 1 to 5.3-liter active fuel management V8. As fuel economy pressure increased, Chevy added cylinder deactivation to one of its most trusted V8s, trying to balance efficiency with the demands of trucks and SUVs. So why do so many owners disable it? With early AFM systems, lifter failures, oil consumption, and uneven wear weren't rare, they were patterns. Cylinder deactivation meant some lifters and valves worked harder than others, and over time, that imbalance showed up as collapsed lifters, misfires, and oil burning that owners didn't expect from a V8. On paper, the idea made sense. Shutting down cylinders saved fuel during light driving and helped meet regulations. But in real-world use, the added complexity stressed components that were never meant to cycle on and off constantly. The system saved fuel at the pump, while the hardware quietly paid the price in the background. Later updates improved oil control, lifter design, and calibration. But early AFM engines became a reminder that adding efficiency tech to engines built for heavy work can backfire when durability isn't the top priority. And if these engines failed because of stress piling up, what happens when Chevy designs an engine to avoid stress altogether? Best 5. 4.3-liter V6. This engine never tried to impress on paper, but it showed up in work trucks, vans, and fleet vehicles where reliability mattered far more than performance numbers. So why do these refuse to die? They refuse to die because everything about the 4.3-liter Vortec is built to avoid stress. It uses a simple pushrod layout, a strong bottom end, and conservative cam timing, so nothing is constantly being pushed to the edge. Cooling and oiling are designed for long idle hours, heavy loads, and real work, not quick bursts of performance. It didn't chase numbers, it chased uptime. Fleet trucks loved it because it tolerated missed oil changes, constant idling, and abuse without falling apart. High-mileage owners trusted it because, even deep into six figures, the engine still felt relaxed instead of worn out. Boring engineering done right. And that same durability-first mindset scales up beautifully. Best number 4. 5.7-liter small block V8. For decades, this V8 powered everything from daily drivers to work trucks, earning a reputation through consistency rather than cutting-edge technology. Why does it still outlast newer designs? Well, it's because the 5.7 small block wasn't built for perfection, it was built for normal people. The block is thick, the rotating parts are heavy-duty, and the oiling system just works without needing perfect conditions. There's no complicated valve timing, no fragile components constantly adjusting themselves, and no parts living right at the edge. Power comes in smoothly and predictably, so heat stays under control and wear stays slow. That's why it forgives abuse better than most modern engines forgive small errors, and why mechanics still trust them decades later in trucks, boats, and daily drivers that never had easy lives. You could miss maintenance, you could work it hard for years, and it just kept going because nothing inside was being pushed too hard all the time. But Chevy didn't stop refining that idea. Quick pause. If you're enjoying this breakdown and it's changing how you think about Chevy engines, hit like and subscribe. Most people watching aren't, and it really helps keep these deep dive videos coming. Alright, let's get back to it. Best number 3. 5.3-liter V8. After early missteps, Chevy refined the 5.3-liter V8 into a balanced engine that could handle truck duty without sacrificing long-term durability. What changed? What changed is that Chevy finally fixed the weak points instead of working around them. Later, 5.3 seconds got better lifters, improved oil control, and smarter tuning that stopped the engine from constantly fighting itself. The calibration spreads the load more evenly, keeps temperatures calmer, and reduces the small stresses that used to build up over time. Oil stays where it should, pressure stays stable, and components wear together instead of against each other. You still get the same usable power, just without the fragility that gave earlier versions a bad reputation. That's why these engines rack up miles without drama, while still delivering decent fuel economy. They don't feel strained or delicate, and they handle real truck use, towing, idling, and daily abuse better than most competitors manage. And when you strip everything back, what actually makes an engine great long-term? Best number 2. 6.0-liter V8. Designed for heavy-duty trucks and commercial use, this engine prioritized strength and thermal stability over weight savings or fuel economy. Why do contractors and fleets swear by it? Fleets swear by it because this engine never lets stress pile up in the first place. The iron block absorbs heat instead of spiking it. The conservative power output keeps cylinder pressures predictable. And the cooling system has enough margin that temperatures stay stable even under constant load. Nothing is operating near its limit, which means wear stays slow and controlled instead of compounding over time. Run it heavy, tow with it, or even idle it all day on a job site. The oil stays consistent, clearances stay where they should, and parts age evenly instead of one weak area dragging everything else down. Problems don't stack up quietly the way they do in more aggressive designs. It doesn't care about weight or the fuel quality. It just keeps running because the engine was designed to stay within itself, not chase efficiency or numbers. And if this engine represents Chevy at its toughest, the next one shows what happens when durability meets everything else. Best number 1. LS-based small block family. This engine family became the backbone of Chevrolet performance and reliability, used across decades of cars, trucks, and countless real-world applications. Why do LS engines dominate everything from daily drivers to race cars? LS engines work everywhere because they're simple in the ways that actually matter. The pushrod layout keeps the valve train compact and light. Oil reaches critical parts quickly, and the bottom end is built with more strength than stock power will ever need. There's room for heat, room for error, and room for growth. Nothing relies on perfect timing, perfect oil, or perfect driving to survive, which is why they stay stable whether they're stock, modified, or worked hard for years. You can modify them, and the structure supports it, or even abuse them, and they don't immediately fall apart. Or you can leave them stock and rack up mileage because the engine never feels like it's being pushed past what it was designed to handle. They forgive people, and that's why they last. Chevy's worst engines didn't fail because they were junk, they failed because they demanded perfection. The best ones assumed mistakes would happen and were built to survive them. If this helped, like and subscribe. Check out the video on the channel about hidden Chevrolet features that keep these cars alive. Got a high-mile Chevy? Drop the engine and mileage in the comments.